So a little white girl grows up in Iowa. She watches college basketball. She watches the WNBA. Her name is Caitlin, and she becomes a baller, a big-time baller. She shuns the major incorporated programs like UConn, South Carolina, and others, and stays home in her home state of Iowa. She becomes a national sensation, an international sensation, and man, oh man, she makes an entire company crazy. That's right. Caitlin Clark continues to make an entire company, a mega company, you could argue, the world's largest sports company, lose their collective mind. And the interesting thing is this, when I go down this, it's all their African-American employees. It's really kind of interesting. A little white girl has exposed the stupidity of racists at ESPN. It's fascinating. Fast forward, little white girl not only becomes a sensation, but she puts an entire struggling, dim-witted league on her shoulders. Carries it, attendance way up, charter flights, let's go. TV contracts, man, oh man, we got to watch. We're must-see TV. And it makes an entire group of employees at a company that's the largest in the world for sports, I suppose, insane, nuts, crazy. Let's start with Robert Griffin III. The goofy-ass, crazy-ass, I want to be loved, weird, very weird. I sat next to him in a suite at the NCAA Final Four in Indianapolis a few years ago. I was here against the wall. The Baylor suite with Chip and Joanna Gaines was right here. Robert Griffin III was wearing his own Griffin basketball jersey, and everybody in that suite, including ESPN's Trey Wingo, got so tired of being around Robert Griffin, including his wife. Just a goofy dude. Just like, what are you doing? Like, I could tell right then why, yeah, he's probably good in college because everybody follows the best athlete, but I could see everybody in the NFL saying, man, get the hell out of here. Because that's basically what the folks in that suite did. Now, I'm guessing if any of the folks that I mentioned heard this, they would deny it. But I saw it. My wife and I just laughed at it. Like, look at this idiot. Well, his idiocy has jumped onto our TV. And not in a good way, not in a football way, not in a, hey, I'm a stud, look at me kind of a way. As a guy that just says stupid things. Now Robert Griffin III is saying we've got a race war. That's right. It's a race war between Angel Reese, the African-American player, and Caitlin Clark, the white player, are being used in a race war that is not fair to either athletes or the game of basketball. Really? You think it's that deep, do you? It's a conversation about race that you ESPNers can't shut up about. I mean, let's be honest. Every time Caitlin Clark plays, she has to be Martin Luther King. She has to be Bill Belichick. She has to be Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Malcolm X all rolled into one. And everything done to her has to be dissected like it's, my God, what is going on here? Oh, my God, somebody touched her. Oh, my God, somebody didn't. Oh, my God, you're covering the touch wrong. Oh, my God, oh, my God. There's a reason nobody watched this bitching, whining, and moaning league. And it's because, well, frankly, the product sucked. The players were unappealing. Not in a physical way, in a mental, in a press conference, in a look at these people, how they talk, get away from me way. If I want dudes playing basketball, I'll watch the NBA. If I want to watch girls 6'3" playing under the rim, I guess I'll watch high school basketball. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is this whole thing is ongoing, and it has literally made ESPN and the OGs of the WNBA crazy. Swin Cash is a legendary basketball player. Swin Cash is really good in women's circles. Not a soul paid attention to Swin Cash when she was in the WNBA. Now, WNBA diehards will tell you I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. The league sucked when Swin Cash was in there, not in the play, not in the women, but in the viewership. Swin Cash is a 3-time champion. That's like saying you're the most handsome man at the Dakich family reunion. Swin Cash is a 4-time WNBA All-Star. Same answer. Swin Cash called out the media. We're calling out, pay attention to us, but do it in the way Swin Cash wants us to do it. She says the coverage of Angel Reese flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark during their matchup was wrong. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, I'm sorry. To have the only highlight of Angel be that foul is nasty work. That's exactly what they do in the men's game, you idiot. Hey, let me explain something to you, fool. If LeBron James goes down the lane and Luka Doncic clotheslines him, that's all we're going to see, fool. I mean, what are we going to watch? Angel Reese miss layups from 2 feet around the rim? Fall down? I mean, what's wrong with you? See, women want equal but special in the WNBA. The treatment of Angel Reese and her foul on Caitlin Clark is exactly the same as it would have been Magic Bird, as it would have been Bird getting choked by Julius Erving, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar punching Kent Benson. Need I go on? NBA players don't care enough. NBA players want to shoot jump shots. But if LeBron James went down the lane or Luka Doncic went down the lane and one or the other clotheslined and fouled him, hit it in the head, we'd be seeing it after play after play after play after play. Are you kidding me? To quote my father, who was quoting a Chicago radio station on a Thursday bit, who are you crapping? Oh, stop it. To have the only highlight of Angel be that foul is nasty work. You know what you're doing. Right. While also questioning her intent is nonsense. Of course you're going to question her intent. What's wrong with you? She's openly cheered when Caitlin Clark has been knocked out of bounds. They got it right. Flagrant one, called by the ref. Players played on. That's right. SMH, keep pushing and competing, Angel. Yeah, I get it. You don't have to even look. Of course, Swin Cash African American. Ain't nothing wrong with how they covered it. That's how they would cover it in every sport. If Mike Trout went at Shohei Ohtani, guess what? They wouldn't give a rat's ass if Mike Trout hit 2 home runs in that game. They would give a rat's ass that Mike Trout went against Shohei Ohtani, you dumbass. Women are insane. I love women. I do. But they're insane. I mean, the WNBA, as my wife told you, women can't stand to see other women be successful. I want equal treatment, but make it special. Show what? What are we supposed to show? Angel Reese laying the ball in? Angel Reese falling down? Angel Reese getting in a jump ball? I mean, Jesus, the shot chart when Angel Reese goes 3 for 14 half the time is from 2 feet around the bucket. We supposed to show that? Just shut up, OG. Look, OGs, the Teresa Witherspoon who's coaching, the Swin Cashes, you had your time. Nobody cared. These women are bringing it. I love the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark dynamic. I do. I hope next game Caitlin Clark clotheslines Angel Reese. Hell yeah, that'd be fun. But the OGs need to sit this one out. They do. The young trying-to-bes like Andrea Carter, whoever in the hell that is. See, all of these women, they all have the words. Mid. Oh, my God, they're so mid. They all have the cool words. See, I'll tell you this. I never played in the NBA. So I never call NBA players mediocre. I'll say they had a bad night, things like that. This Andrea Carter never played nothing. She played at Tennessee, got hurt, whatever. And she's been given an unbelievable opportunity. But when you never played, you never competed at that level. And everybody now in the media wants to act like they did. Hell, that clown Stephen A. Smith walks into the gym like he's a player. This girl averaged like 5 or 6 points a game, got hurt, okay. But this is what she had to say about the Fever and the Sky. Just stop.
A result right now from what they did in college. These two were rivals in the college game. It has potential to be a rivalry down the road, but right now, I enjoy watching these two try to have success in the W. But if we're being completely honest, their teams are having a mid-off right now. Their teams are just very mid. They're 8th and 9th in the WNBA standings. They're 4 and 9, 5 and 10. Their teams aren't very good. So just watching these two become pros is what I'm excited about. I don't take anything from the foul at all.
Well, the last part is the girl actually had a brain, but to call teams mid when you never played in the league. Again, I never played in the NBA. I would never say that. But, hey, look, I get it. Everyone's trying to be hip and cool and all the other millennial crap. It's the Mina Kimes coming out and everybody. Oh, man, they're so mad. Jesus. I get a kick out of all this. This is the greatest stuff ever. And, of course, the dumbest of them all. Some lady named Carrington. Wasn't Carrington like on Dynasty or something like that? I don't know. Some lady who plays in the WNBA named Carrington. She's mad because dudes are watching the WNBA. Here's old Carrington coming back with some quotes. If you think we're going to shut up and dribble. Unfortunately, for y'all new fans, we do not just shut up and dribble here. Y'all picked the wrong league. Nobody wants you to shut up and dribble. No one's asked you to shut up and dribble. Who the hell's asked anybody to shut up and dribble? You got 6 people there at a press conference. One's doing her hair. One can't answer a question. You're acting like idiots. No one's asking your opinion on anything. Why would anybody care what this Carrington woman said about anything? Who's asking anybody in the WNBA to shut up and dribble? Just quit being racist. Just quit attacking the little new white girl. I don't know what to tell you. That's the world we live in right now. You're attacking the little white girl, which everybody knew you were going to do. Hell, Candace Wiggins talked about it in 2017 in an article about how lesbians treat straight girls. She was a great player. Said, screw this league. Calling them bitches, trying to intimidate them, trying to hurt them. Everybody knows this. Nobody's asking you to shut up and dribble. All we're asking you to do is quit being idiots. I mean, you have been exposed as angry. You've been exposed as jealous. You've been exposed as petty. Who gives a rat's ass whether you shut up and dribble? How about you just don't act racist? How about you just don't act sexist? How about you just don't act like idiots that have put a 27-year league still in a $50 million hole? Just a suggestion. Maybe you embrace as opposed to be angry. I've said it before. I've said it again. My wife told me, and she ain't wrong, women in sports hate to see other women in sports succeed. Period. Lesbian women might be the worst. We're seeing it. Candace Wiggins told us back in the day. Read Bobby Barack, he'll tell you. So Stephen A. Smith. All right. So Stephen A. Smith, look, if I were, this is what I would do. If I had just won the NBA title and they said, hey, we're going to get you on a desk with NBA, I'd say, no, I ain't going. If I was black, I'm not going. What do you mean you're not going? You're going to get fined. Good, fine me. I'm not going to sit with those racists. I'm not going to sit with those pocket racists. I'm not doing it. Stephen A. Smith is still talking about LeBron James and J.J. Reddick's podcast. He went on First Take to reveal that several black coaches reached out to him to state that they took issue with the timing of the podcast because it was bad for Darvin Ham. All right. You're not allowed to start a podcast with a former NBA player and current analyst because your black coach is on the hot seat? Really? Black coach is on the hot seat. I guarantee you what happened was this. Smith probably called around, and I guarantee you this happened. Smith probably, hey, man, what do you think about that? It's kind of tough. Darvin Ham's on the hot seat. I didn't really like it. You know, it's kind of bullshit that LeBron would do that. I mean, I could see that. But nobody's dialing up the phone. I'm really mad. I mean, at least black coaches I know, white coaches I know, no one's calling up a meeting. I'm really mad about this. I can't stand this. This is not right. Stephen A. Smith just lying. I mean, maybe he called them and said, hey, man, what do you think? Maybe. Here's Smith.
What I can tell you is this. Numerous coaches, black coaches, called me expressing how they took issue with that podcast taking place. And I think you know enough to know that that's true. Some of them felt very salty about that. We certainly are not blaming J.J. Reddick. You got your podcast. Maverick Carter approaches you about doing this idea. Who the hell would? I jump at the opportunity.
Wait, can I pause you on that? They were salty because he chose to do a podcast with a white guy or because it hurt Darvin Ham?
Because it hurt Darvin Ham.
Okay.
Because it hurt Darvin Ham. So any of us would do a podcast with LeBron James. Anybody who says otherwise, that they wouldn't do a podcast with LeBron James is lying through their damn teeth. I know I would. I know you would. I know Wendy would. I know anybody would. That would be an honor for us because he's one of the greatest who have ever played and he's a basketball savant. So we're not faulting JJ in any way for doing the podcast or for the content on the podcast with LeBron James. But at some point in time, we do have to do this, Jay. As I said to Wendy last week, we have to remember the things that we've said about LeBron James as it pertains to his brilliance, as it pertains to controlling a narrative, as it pertains to being 2, 3, 5 steps ahead of others in terms of what you're plotting and what you're planning and what have you. And then that'll raise an antenna.
Hey, I got to ask you, unless there's some big national story, I don't want to talk about that idiot anymore, Smith. No, I'm serious. I don't put him on my show anymore. I mean, the level of stupid, the level of self-involved is just please don't do that anymore. Unless there's something that Stephen A. Smith is nationally involved in that is interesting. Just to put Stephen A. Smith's dumb ass up there talking stupid. Hey, look, white coaches, black coach, you got a problem with the J.J. Reddick, LeBron James podcast? Get over it. Go over there in the corner, sit your sorry, whiny, bitchy asses down, and get over it. That's as simple as I can make it. Don't care. Black coaches, you're mad, so what? Do better. I mean, hell, white coaches get fired, black coaches get fired, white coaches teach, black coaches teach, white coaches are good, black coaches are good. I mean, only the African-American media guy makes it into a thing. Actually, the white media guy does too. That's a mistake. I don't want to hear from Smith anymore on my show. It's just too stupid. And it gives credit and it gives clout to an idiot. And he's not he's very smart in terms of how he's handled his career, used his power. But listening to him talk, I mean, look, I got a PhD in basketball. I got a PhD in coaching. I got a PhD in dealing and understanding the media. I do. I mean, I'll tell you point blank, I do. I mean, I act like I don't sometimes. I try to make people comfortable. But listening to that stupid, it's why I cannot listen to anything on TV. It's why I watch 2.5 minutes. The level of stupid on your television, other than Barkley and Kenny and Shaq and Ernie, is astounding to me. And to listen to this guy acting every day, I don't care what he said. And if black coaches have a problem, quit being little bitches. And if white coaches have a problem, quit being little bitches. Do better. That's it. And if Darvin Ham had no chance whether LeBron James had a podcast or not, but if you listen, nobody's criticizing LeBron, are they? You don't hear Smith criticizing LeBron. Why? He's access. LeBron's bigger. That's it. That's why this whole thing is fake. This is a fraud. This is all bullshit. And I don't give a damn about any of it. Don't put Stephen A. on my show, please, any longer unless there's something national and interesting and he ain't talking. Former LSU football coach Les Miles is suing the university, alleging that the school's decision to vacate the wins that he had with his team cost him a chance at the College Football Hall of Fame. What is this? What is this? What is this? Revenge of the Titans or Remember the Titans? Coach, you're not going to get in the Hall of Fame. Last year, the school vacated 37 wins due to recruiting violations stemming from impermissible benefits paid to the father of former player Vidal Alexander by a former booster. Yeah, okay. Well, I got to tell you, don't cheat. I think, I could be wrong about this, but I think I was told, if I remember right, that Les Miles is not in great health. But I got to tell you, when I used to text Urban Meyer if he ever would lose to Les Miles, and I'd say, man, when I heard Miles being interviewed after you lost to that guy. Anyway, former LSU coach, according to Adam Rittenberg, no friend of the show, by the way. He gave a hard pass a year or two ago. We asked him to come on about something. Hard pass. All these little millennial words just crush my soul. They're so funny. Les Miles today filed a lawsuit against LSU alleging the school's decision to vacate the wins his team attained cost him a chance at the College Football Hall of Fame qualification. News release called it an irrational and unfair self-inflicted punishment. Miles' lawsuit also lists the NCAA, National Football Foundation, which manages the Hall of Fame, as defendants. His longtime agent, George Bass, said LSU promised us help in undoing this injustice and then went back on its word. So Les Miles cheated, got caught, okay, got penalized, and now he's mad. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. No, I'm in. No, I'm good with it. No, that's good. Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, I always said cheaters prosper in college football and basketball. Les is a little bit mad. Les will be all right. I'm not mad at Les. Les will be fine. But, the truth of the matter is vacating wins is really stupid. No, it's just really stupid. Like, I don't know what you're really supposed to do. But come on. Oh, wait a second. You guys, I don't even know who this Vlad, whatever the hell his name is, player. You're telling me that after the fact, you're going to go, you know what? That kid played in 37 games. He was ineligible. Like, I get the ineligible part. I do. You're playing an ineligible player. But that's like, I don't know, some dude that's like 28. I don't know. Or Danny, what's that guy's name? Danny Armonte, pitching in the Little League World Series at 22. He just finished driving his car, drinking a beer, smoking a heater, graduated from college, has 3 kids, and he's pitching in the 12 and under Little League World Series. Now that's, I think, okay. But I don't know where I stand. I know where I stand. Forfeiting wins is stupid. I always felt Les Miles was kind of stupid, too. Oh, man. Jeff Van Gundy opened up about a very turbulent years he's had and commented how grateful he is for the Celtics to throw him a lifeline. I like Jeff Van Gundy. I worked with him one time. I was asking questions during the broadcast. He didn't like it, so instead of turning to me and saying, hey, Dan, let's cut that out, he told the producer to tell me, and I told the producer, he's sitting right here. Dudes are weird, man. Anyway, the Celtics made him a consultant. The word on the street is in the next week or so, Jeff Van Gundy is going to go be Ty Lue's first assistant with the Clippers. Good for Jeff Van Gundy because he's really a nice guy. Now, his brother, Fat Gundy, not so much. But Jeff, I always liked him. I did. Always liked him. Jeff Van Gundy, thankful to Brad Stevens, thankful to the Celtics. They threw him a lifeline. They made him a consultant amidst career uncertainty, navigating the sudden death of his sister-in-law and other life issues. Van Gundy said, I got fired from ESPN June 30th. My youngest son went to school, so we became empty nesters. Well, let me tell you something. That's the greatest thing ever. Now, I don't know about he and his wife. Hey, if you're having a problem being an empty nester, I got a thing. Go to feelgreatindy.com, baby. Yeah. Testosterone treatments. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, my sister-in-law tragically passed away in the middle of August. That's horrible. My best friend in Houston contracted cancer, and he died this spring. Isn't this amazing? When I went to work for the Celtics after the FIBA World Cup, I only knew Brad Stevens a little bit. I was in a really awkward place in my life, not knowing where I was going or what my purpose was or how I'd be with this new group of people where I didn't know anyone. It's been one of the most rejuvenating things I've ever gone through. Brad Stevens, Joe Mazzulla threw me a lifeline. That's awesome, man. And I got to tell you, both of those dudes are really good dudes. Brad Stevens, a really good dude. Brad Stevens, at the age of 47, took Butler to 2 straight national championship games, coached in the playoffs 7 years with the Celtics, won an NBA title. He's only 47. I mean, damn, you got a chance to be a Jerry West-type lifer in the NBA. This solidifies him. But anyway, back to the better part of the story. Joe Mazzulla seems like one of the all-time greatest guys. And how smart was Brad Stevens understanding that when that Ime Udoka had to take his little pee-pee and throw it around the league and throw it around all over the place, that he had a guy right there named Joe Mazzulla. Well, it's the same thing that happened when Barry Collier needed a coach. Barry Collier needed a coach after Todd Licklider went from Butler to Iowa. He could have gone a lot of different directions, gone outside, got some bigger names, but he knew what he had inside of his program. He had a guy named Brad Stevens. He hired Brad. And as, well, they say, the rest is history. Brad did a wonderful job. And then all of a sudden, Brad becomes a Celtics head coach, and while people were drafting Ben Simmons and others, he was taking Jaylen Brown. Quick story. Brad would call me when I was working at ESPN every spring to ask me about prospects. He asked me about Jaylen Brown. I hadn't seen him. I said, Brad, I really don't know. And he was telling me about him, what a great kid. I said, man, I'm going to watch. So I started watching. I thought to myself, wow, I don't think there's any better prospect coming out than Jaylen Brown. Then he called me about a couple guys, and I will tell you this. I told him, and I'm going to look up this draft. I had it this morning, and then I lost it. But when he said, who would you draft if you had the number 1 pick? I said, Jason Tatum. I said, it wouldn't be close. Jason Tatum, to me, and I said this on Mike and Mike, Jason Tatum to me was everything you want in a basketball player. Jason Tatum could play every single position there is. Jason Tatum could play, shoot, what you name it, Jason Tatum could do it. You know who the first selection that year was? Markelle Fultz. I will never, ever, ever forget that. I will never forget saying to Brad Stevens, Jason Tatum should be the number 1 player in the draft. The other guy I really liked was De'Aaron Fox. I didn't like Lonzo Ball, and I didn't even know Fultz. I had no idea who Markelle Fultz was, so maybe I would have been wrong big time on that. But anyway, man, oh man, congratulations to the Boston Celtics. Congratulations to Jeff Van Gundy on a new gig. Congratulations to Brad Stevens and everybody involved. What a great move Danny Ainge made years ago when he picked Brad Stevens to go be the head coach of the Celtics. What a great move. This is a weird story, and this is a story that probably has happened a lot. Guy just didn't make the major leagues. Listen to this story. Tristan Casas is a player with the Red Sox, first baseman. He was interviewed during the middle of the Red Sox-Yankees game and detailed a memory of when his father, listen to this, got arrested in the middle of a Little League game for Looney Tunes kicking him onto the field and refusing to go out and play defense. Listen to this.
So I'm in coach pitch, and, I'm so young. I don't really know what's going on at this point still. I'm still just playing baseball just to burn calories and get out there and get some sun. Right. And, I get out one day, and I come back to the dugout crying, pissed, and, that's what a 6-year-old does. He sits on the bench, and he cries, and he doesn't want to go out there when, his team's playing defense. So my dad, being the dad that he is, trying to teach me the lessons that he did in his own special way, came into the dugout. He actually grabbed me by my shirt, dragged me to the line, and Looney Tunes style kicked me out onto the field. And actually had one of my best friends that I went to high school with later. He ended up playing pro ball. His mom actually called child services on my dad, had him arrested at the field. No, for real. This is no joke. At the field, I see my dad go away in the cop car, gets arrested, sent the night to jail.
You're
But
kidding.
that day, my dad taught me a super valuable lesson that not a lot of people know, and it's that I had a responsibility to my teammates. I had a responsibility to my coaches, to the parents that showed up that day, all the fans who were at that Little League game, whatever it may be, to go out there and give my best effort no matter how I was feeling on the bench, no matter what I was going through that day, or whatever little hardship that I was feeling when I got out, that I still apply every single time, because sometimes I just want to sit down on this bench after I get out, and I want to weep and I want to cry, but that's not how baseball is. So
There you go. There you go, man. How about that? The mom calls the wow. Hey, we got a situation here at Coach Pitch. Some dad just literally kicked his son out onto the field. Now, Coach Pitch is like this big, right? I mean, come on. It's really kind of funny. It is. It's really kind of funny, Coach Pitch. But, hey, apparently the guy took it well. Apparently the player became a big leaguer and learned a lesson. It was interesting in that, depending on when it would have been, it's kind of interesting listening to the broadcasters laugh. Like, I don't know how I would handle that as a broadcast. I'm not laughing at the dad or the story. I'm laughing uncomfortably, I think. But good for him, man. He turned a negative into a positive, and now, well, I got to be a Tristan Casas fan. Back to the NBA. Game 5. Game 5 last night was a rout, and it was a rout from jump. And here's the interesting thing for me. We just heard from a kid who learned to be there for his teammates. We just heard from a kid who learned at a very young age how to watch his dad get put in a police car. Could you imagine? Hey, man, I got my Little League uniform. I'm Mr. Alley's hot dogs. I got my hat. My uniform's too big. I'm running around. And all of a sudden I look, and my dad's being carted away. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen anybody arrested. They handcuff you. They do. They handcuff you, put your head down, put you in the cart. It's not a pleasant sight. But anyway, that guy learned a lesson, and he showed up for his teammates. I got to tell you, last night watching the Dallas Mavericks was an abomination. Watching Kyrie Irving was an abomination. I mean, I don't know. I guess he's now become the great philosopher. And he's playing on a team where he was going last night. Yes, I know he did not shoot well. Yes, I know people thought, well, he didn't make shots. But he could get to the rim anytime he wanted. He could. But for whatever the reason, he didn't want it. And for whatever the reason, nobody on Dallas's staff understood it. Now, I know what dummies do when I say things like this. Again, I'm not going to lie to you. I got a PhD in this stuff. I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to say. I understand my coaching record isn't whatever you think it should be, but I got a PhD in this crap. Kyrie Irving was going. When Kyrie Irving decided he was going to get the ball inbound, get to the rim, they got layups. But somehow, some way, Jason Kidd decided he was going to stand Kyrie Irving on the side and watch Luka Doncic try to dribble through 16 different people. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, that's the way the Mavericks play. You got to make adjustments during the game. That was idiotic. And actually, it felt like to me that the Dallas Mavericks did not believe they were going to win. And frankly, I don't even know if they cared they were going to win. And I say that with no respect at all. I honestly feel that way. I feel like the Dallas Mavericks showed up to play a basketball game. I say this all the time. One team showed up to compete like hell for a common goal. The other team showed up to play a basketball game. I'll let you guess which one that was. But watching Kyrie Irving and his $35 to $40 million, I got to tell you, I've always equated him to Isaiah Thomas. My ass. Oh, no chance. Isaiah Thomas was a killer. Isaiah Thomas was an alpha. Isaiah Thomas was going to go get the basketball. No, not the left-handed little Isaiah Thomas that talks all the time. I'm talking about the killer Isaiah Thomas. Talking about the NBA champ, two-time Isaiah Thomas with the Pistons. I always thought Irving was the closest thing to him. After last night, you can have Kyrie Irving. I'd rather have Halliburton. I would. I'd rather have Halliburton than Kyrie Irving, and I never in my lifetime figured I would ever say anything like that. I didn't. But I do now. Because I got to tell you, I'm watching Kyrie Irving, and I'm saying to myself, hold on. Whoa. What are we doing? What? No. No. That was crap last night. That was garbage last night. Mark Cuban needs his money back. Now, the other side of it, let me talk about. What a selfless basketball team. And how about Peyton Pritchard coming in with 4 seconds to go to hit a half-court shot? That's why Joe Mazzulla put him in, and Peyton Pritchard did it. That was a cool moment. That was actually a very cool moment. I watched him come in. I told my wife, watch this little white dude here, and he drills. She goes, how'd you know? I go, I don't know. That's what he does. That's why they put him in the game. He dribbled to his spot, Kobe-like, and drilled it from half court, and the Garden went nuts. But here's the thing. You cannot find on that basketball team any jackasses. Compare that basketball team to the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know what you're going to say. There's 100 guys or 50 guys on a football team, and you're right. But just compare it. In some ways, it's very comparable because, frankly, Patrick Mahomes seems like a great dude. He does. And you know what? Travis Kelce, for all his weirdness, seems like a great dude. That big lineman, Chris Jones, seems like a great dude. Now, they got some problems on the ass and some punks on the team, but the stars seem like great dudes. Jaylen Brown is a brilliant man. Jaylen Brown is a nice dude. Jason Tatum is a brilliant man and a nice dude. Al Horford may be the smartest basketball player to walk the face of the earth, maybe ever. Honest to God, I watch Al Horford and I see a genius. I watch Derek White and I see brilliance. I see Drew Holiday and I see an absolute brilliant, magnificent, smart basketball winner. From top to bottom, Brad Stevens has put together a group that just goes about the business of being better than you, smarter than you, coached better than you, better put together than you, train harder than you, and guess what? No issues. When's the last time, I want you to think about this. When's the last time you heard about any issue from the Boston Celtics? When's the last time you heard about, well, we need load management? When's the last time you heard them bitch, whine, and cry about anything? When's the last time you saw Kawhi Leonard play? When's the last time you saw Paul George shut the living hell up? No, seriously. Think about it. When's the last time you heard or saw Joel Embiid in shape? When's the last time you heard or saw Luka Doncic in shape? Serious business. I'm hoping, as you look at the young group that's coming up in the NBA, I'm hoping De'Aaron Fox of Sacramento and Sabonis stay that way. I'm hoping Victor Wembanyama stays that way, the way he's been right now. I hope he doesn't become some European hero that ends up caring more, Tracy McGrady style, about bullshit than he does about winning. I hope, anyway, because I got to tell you, all these guys in the NBA, every one of them, has an unbelievable role model in the Boston Celtics on how to win without maybe the most talent, how to win without a ball-hogging superstar. And every guy in the NBA, every single person in the NBA running an NBA team got a lesson on how to put a team together by Brad Stevens. Unbelievable. And really, really, really fun to watch. And I hope they don't stop. I hope they continue. We'll be right back.